It's March 2nd. While there is a conflict raging elsewhere in a distant land, from here, not too far from my homeland, but far away from the land my kids are being raised, this is what a mother has to be dealing with. This is just me going to use the restroom, and this is what happens. So this is what's going on. This is his potty, and he thinks potty has to be in the sink, kitchen sink. She thinks that toilet paper has, not toilet paper, this is not toilet paper, this is tissue paper from the box on the table. They think this has to be all out and used, and she actually started using it when she saw me exceedingly a lot, while she started using it for her nose, like as she needed all that much tissue for her nose, which doesn't even have anything running on it. So yeah, that's what happens when you have two, because two is power, two is a teamwork, and two calls for trouble, and they enjoy the trouble too. Good thing they have space. They have this upstairs, they can go upstairs, and I usually let them go upstairs so they have two rooms there, so I could clean here downstairs. I just finished with the laundry. Since yesterday it's been raining, and today's finally not raining anymore, and those are everyday things that I shouldn't be complaining about, because I'm not in a place where people bomb buildings and civilian areas, so I shouldn't be complaining. This is the taste of being a mother of twins. This is what's like it. Full of mischief, and also joy and happy smiles, and falling down and crying and getting a hug from mom and keep going. I shouldn't be complaining. Every time I go to the shower, we were just talking with my sister about it. Every time I go to the shower, I'm grateful I can take a shower. Every time I use electricity to cook something, I'm grateful. Every time I use the water, I'm grateful I have water. Even though there is like a potty here that somebody decided that has to be in the sink, I'm grateful, because not the whole world right now is enjoying peace, and that makes me really sad, and probably the rest of the world sad too, but it's something I can't do much about. I think I have been using the TV. I've been listening to the BBC News. That's how I got here, the cable TV. I used to have CNN too, but cable packages, I don't know. I lost that. And we used to have D-Life, which is like it's another cool channel that I enjoyed. Not anymore. And anyway, so I've been watching the news, and it hasn't been great. No, not really. And people fleeing and seeking another place to call home and raise their kids in peace. It's just, I honestly thought that tanks, missiles, those things are just for the movies and for the what do you call it? For the museums. Like in the museums you can see those things. After dropping bombs on nations like Hiroshima and Nagasaki, not just because I live in Japan, it's just because it's part of history. And yes, when I went to the Peace Park in Kyoto, I did cry. That was some 11 years ago when I went there, and when I saw only the shadows of the people left there. It's just, I thought after World War I and II, humanity kind of like learned that conflict is never the way. But apparently it continues to be the only way people make their point. And I just wonder, those armies and those people, normal people like you and I, how do they get convinced to put arms and go and invade other people and take their lives and smash their cars and bomb buildings, living apartment complexes and stuff like that? How do you follow that kind of leader? What kind of leader makes you want to do that? What kind of powerful words he uses to convince you that what you're doing is right? That is scary. And this is a joke. This I can clean up in 2 minutes, tops. But I cannot fix a problem that's between nations that are actually brotherhood. They are the same blood, same language, we're all Slavic people. Like, I'm from Bulgaria, and it's right next door. Bulgaria, Romania, Ukraine, that's it. And we're all the same. Like, Bulgaria was never part of the USSR. It was always an independent country. But we're all the same blood. We use the same alphabet, you know? Why would we turn it to, what am I talking about? Families turn towards each other within a family. How about nations? It's just so naive to think that there will be no more war, and so naive to think that there will be no more using of weapons and stuff. So naive to think like that. Truth is, while I'm picking up crayons from the floor, I'm thinking, in this world there are lots and lots and lots of great people, lots of good leaders, lots of people, peacemakers, lots of wonderful people growing, raising, creating, building. And there's also a good amount of those who destroy, who seek vengeance, who cannot sleep if there's peace, and who create secret combinations to destroy everything that is beautiful. There's this and there's that. There's opposition. That's how this life was meant to be. That's how it was created, and that's how it's gonna run its course. Yeah, while I'm cleaning crayon scrabbles from the floor with the tissue that is scrambled everywhere, I think that ultimately good is more than bad. But media, the world tends to focus more on the bad, and so the bad flourishes. If you focus on the good, maybe the good's gonna flourish. I don't know. Maybe there will be more Bulgarians, hopefully, who will open their land and their doors and living space for refugees from Ukraine. Maybe they will stop hating them, and maybe more Bulgarians will see them as people, not as anti-Russian or whatever. Maybe this world will be a better place when we stop labeling each other. You're this nationality, you're that nationality. You have more nuclear weapons. We don't. Get those nuclear weapons out of your countries. EU do this, EU don't do that. NATO nations tied up hands, cannot do much. Maybe if we just see people as people, for goodness sake, and realize that fighting for lands and boundaries doesn't really matter for those who want to live their normal lives. Everything is for money and power. Everything is about that with those leaders of dictatorships and countries who did that. We know what happened to Hitler ultimately. We know what happened to him. If you don't know, just go Google it and see. And it's never happy ending for those dictatorships. Never good ending. It's just too bad for the normal civilian people who live normal civilian lives like us every day, who clean up tissue because their kids are naughty. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say today.